Most people tend to make tomato sauce and salsa with their buckets of homegrown tomatoes, but sun-dried tomatoes should be right at the top of that list, and there's no sun needed. Be sure to choose a tomato variety with few seeds and a low water content. These Amish paste and Roma or plum tomatoes are perfect. These are also perfect for making things like tomato sauce. Avoid using beefsteak and vine type tomatoes like Early Girl due to their high water and seed content. The prep is simple. Slice the tomatoes lengthwise. Larger tomatoes will need to be sliced more than once, whereas something like this we can probably get away with just cutting it in half lengthwise. Aim for 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch slices. As you can see, there are really not a lot of seeds, just small sections here on the sides. And we've got all of this great stuff that's going to dry. To remove the seeds, just use the very tip of the knife, slide it right inside, and they're gone. We've got some seeds and some extra water content out of there. And with 2 small cuts, remove the stem. Don't worry about the ends here. You won't even notice these by the time the tomatoes are dry. And I recommend cutting large tomatoes like this in half. Arrange slices cut side up on dehydrator trays or cookie sheets. Use cookie sheets without aluminum foil, and don't use aluminum cookie sheets. But non-stick cookie sheets work best, and you get plenty of room that way. Once you've prepped the tomatoes, salt each slice evenly and season as you wish. I'm using homegrown parsley and oregano, which I've dried in this very dehydrator. Season a lot or a little. I've chopped some garden fresh basil, and each slice is getting a taste. This is really optional, so you can add whatever you'd like. Arrange dehydrator trays and cover. Start your dehydrator or a 170-degree oven with the cookie sheets. And now you go do something for 3 to 4 hours, because this is going to take a while. Check on the tomatoes. Firmly press each slice with a spatula. We want to flatten them and expose the juices so they dehydrate better. If there are any pockets of moisture, slice into it with a knife and press again. If one tray is drying much faster than the others, rotate it to a different position within the dehydrator. Make sure you free them from the trays before putting the lid back on. It's unlikely that any will be done yet. Keep dehydrating and check again in 2 hours or 1 hour if some slices seem nearly done. The tomatoes are successfully dried when they're no longer wet. But seriously, we're going for a pliable yet mostly dried tomato. Aim for a similar consistency to a raisin or a dried apricot. As each slice is done, remove it from the tray and store in a container. Check frequently to avoid over drying. The tomatoes are too dry when they become crispy, brittle, or leathery. They're still edible, but they don't taste as good. I like to cut them into julienne strips using kitchen scissors. A knife won't work well. Store in sealed bags in the freezer or packed in extra virgin olive oil in the fridge. To pack them in oil so you always have a supply on hand, just pack them really tightly into a mason jar as close together as you can. You don't want any extra space if possible. Simply fill with olive oil. You can also leave them whole, which makes them perfect for snacking. Always label the jars or bags. In oil in the fridge, they'll last for several months. In the freezer, for up to a year. So that is how you make sun-dried tomatoes without the sun. It's a great way to preserve tomatoes, and it's a nice alternative to sauce or salsa. Thank you for joining me. Tune in next time and I'll teach you how to make something else.